Mezcal, a drink made from the agave plant. It's the world's fastest growing spirit. Popular in dedicated bars from Tokyo to New York, its roots lie deep in the indigenous heartlands of southern Mexico. Here, tradition and custom are uppermost, and mezcal's ancient preparation methods are jealously protected by traditional artisans. But as the demand for mezcal grows, it seems like its industrialization is inevitable, threatening to leave behind the traditional artisans and the principles and tradition behind Mexico's water of life. Oaxaca, in southern Mexico, a mountainous region home to indigenous peoples for thousands of years. Indigenous tribes in these remote mountains live much the same lives as their ancestors, with traditional dress, native languages, and ancient customs. It's also the birthplace of mezcal, a spirit distilled from the fermented juice of the agave, a fleshy Mexican cactus.
So when the Spanish came to Mexico in the first quarter of the 1500s, they brought the knowledge of distillation to Mexico. And in Mexico, there was already fermentation. People making pulque, people fermenting other things. When you have fermented product here, the Spanish introduced distillation. Rainy season, everything you see is green, green, green.
Alvin Starkman first visited Oaxaca in 1969. Riding the hippie wave, he discovered mezcal and began a lifelong love affair with the region and its traditional distillate. 50 years on, his encyclopedic knowledge of mezcal has made him into a sought-after industry guru for tourists and entrepreneurs alike.
So we have people now that are coming to Oaxaca just to experience mezcal. I mean, I've had clients from certainly the United States, Canada, Germany, South Africa.
He advises Canadian bars looking to widen their menu ranges.
Bartenders want to find out what's new and trendy, and it's always like a journey to be the first to discover something authentic and something real. So understanding that mezcal and agave spirits in general come from all over this country and are distilled in all different fashions creates like unique identities and flavors behind each of them.
Mezcal, often confused with tequila, is a spirit made from agave. Tequila is in fact a type of mezcal, and while the former is distilled in a specific region of Mexico from a specific species of cactus, the blue agave, mezcal can be made across Mexico and made from any type of agave plant. This variety gives mezcal a far wider range of tastes and forms, a fact that has made it a sought-after spirit on the global stage. But this intense fascination with mezcal is a relatively new phenomenon.
Up until 25 years ago, urban, middle class, upper class Oaxacans didn't drink mezcal because it was a poor man's drink. It was for the masses in the villages. And you can now go to an upper middle class wedding in Oaxaca, and the bride's father has placed a hand-blown glass bottle on every table with his favorite mezcal made by his favorite palenquero. 25 years ago, that didn't happen.
Today, the product is competing in the gourmet spirits market, and Mexico exports over $1.2 billion of mezcal annually.
Everybody and his brother and his sister, they want to get in on the action. They want to start their own mezcal brand.
Yet, as foreign investment pours into Oaxaca, its traditional producers, the palenqueros, who hold the keys to ancient recipes and methods, who are losing out. Here's a quick mezcal recipe. Carbohydrate-rich agave hearts, known as piñas or pineapples, are baked to release sugars, crushed and then fermented to make alcohol, and then boiled to separate the liquor. But within those simple steps, a world of variety. Victoria Ramirez is the latest in a long line of palenqueros. She and her family still stick to the old recipes handed down through the generations.
Pues así estamos trabajando, así estamos como desde mi papá. A los 8 o 9 años tengo yo, cuando mi papá vi que están sacando el mezcal. A los 19 años me casé y empezó, mi papá lo enseñó a mi esposo, empezó a sacarlo. Y carreaban agua en el pozo lejos con 2 cubetas en el hombro para llenar en el tanque. Más difícil trabajaron antes.
For Victoria and her family, the use of a horse-drawn mill is a modern innovation, and they are reluctant to embrace further advancements.
Como algunos dicen que hay máquina que hay, no, pero ellos así van a seguir. Si vamos a poner el palenque, ellos están pensando comprar la piedra y comprar otro caballo para que va a machucar. Ellos no piensan de otra forma, pues.
However, profits are slim. Victoria and her family are forced to pay for the use of their ramshackle distillery, paying around a fifth of a decent yield in rent, no matter how much mezcal they produce. And that is hard to bank on.
Producing mezcal traditionally is a difficult business. You never know how many liters you're going to get out of a ton of agave piñas that you have purchased. Some small-scale traditional producers will sometimes blow their brains out because they thought that they were going to be able to produce 60, 70, 100 liters, and then what happens? They've only produced 5, 10, or 30 liters in that vat. How can you make money like that?
Felix Angeles owns his own distillery. Unlike Victoria, he's a registered producer under the government's Mezcal trademark, offering him the right to export. But he still mashes agave by hand and distills through clay pots, rather than more efficient copper stills. It's extremely labour-intensive, but he says it sets his product apart.
Ahorita el mezcal que sacamos aquí en olla de barro es muy perseguido, pues. Porque se puede decir que ese mezcal que hacen allí ellos en la olla de cobre, ese es más industrial, pues. Sale más que este mezcal. Sí, es menos calidad.
Like most palenqueros, his product doesn't reach the customer in a branded 715 millilitre bottle. Felix sells by the litre, allowing customers to try before they buy and proving its quality through the bubbles that form in the distillate, known as pearls, proving an alcohol content upwards of 50%.
Aquí, miren cómo se ve la perla. Esta es la perla real del mezcal minero.
Yet traditional methods like this are up against international corporations, and as mezcal's fame grows, palenqueros are cutting corners in order to keep up.
Aquí yo tengo 4 clientes de ahí de Matatlán. Fíjense que vienen a traer mezcal acá. Bueno, y les digo, ¿para qué llevan mezcal de aquí si ustedes tienen? Dicen, no, dices que para dar pruebas. Entonces ya me di cuenta que ellos vienen a traer aquí para que den pruebas y venden del jodido que tienen, pues.
Real mezcal is at least twice distilled, but the fewer the boils, the greater the yield, and the greater the yield, the more you can get selling it as if it were real mezcal. It's a sadly common practice that impacts on those who do the job properly.
Creo que no es mezcal lo que están haciendo, pues quién sabe qué es lo que revuelve. Si usted vas a ir a comprar 1 litro de ese y 1 litro de acá y vas a guardar los dos, a ver cómo se va a poner. Hasta barato vende, pero no es mezcal.
In the face of a dishonest industry where profit is king, for many it's a case of industrialize or die. Jonathan Barbieri, another North American who fell in love with Oaxaca, founded his mezcal brand Pierre de Almas before the boom. Yet last year he sold his brand to Diageo, one of the world's largest spirits companies.
Diageo approached us and You know, we talked for 3.5 years before we ever came to an agreement. Constantly going broke.
He still runs the day-to-day business, using traditional methods to produce his product for the international conglomerate. He stands firmly by his decision.
It's too easy to just say, the big guys came in and now it's all industrialized. That's just not true. But business and growing business and people with capital that are coming into this world of mezcal can have a positive effect. Take, for example, Maestro Gregorio Velasco Luis, who makes most of our mezcal. When I first met him, he had a 1-story house, and now he's got a 3-story house that he himself has built. He's a very smart man. His kids are going to go to school, and then they're going to come back to the community, and they're going to give something back to the community.
As well as the local economy, the corporation's involvement brings mezcal a wider reach.
There's a benefit to transnational companies buying a majority interest in mezcal brands. The good thing about that is Pernod Ricard has the ability to expand the mezcal market because their products are all over the world. So the good thing is other parts of the world are being exposed to mezcal that otherwise wouldn't have happened but for Diageo, Pernod Ricard, Bacardi or whomever.
The Mexican government also appears to be on the side of the conglomerates. While 82% of Mexico's mezcal exports come from Oaxaca, the regulatory board has opened up designation of origin rights, such as are enjoyed in France's tiny Champagne region for the sparkling wine it produces, to 9 Mexican states. Industrialization also means a loss of nuance and artisanal quality, which has been key to mezcal's success.
Those big corporations want to recoup their investment. How do you recoup your investment? You need to have more mezcal to flog in the United States, Canada, China, South Africa. How do these small producers increase their production and maintain the traditional way of producing? They can't, okay? So they have to industrialize to be able to produce more mezcal to satisfy the corporation who bought them out.
Jonathan sees it differently. He still produces his Pier de Almas mezcal the way he always has, and says he cares more about quality than Diageo's bottom line.
There are other products that pick up that bottom line. You know, we're premium. We'll always be who we are.
Whatever the palenqueros might think of the big boys, they are here in Oaxaca, and they seem to be here to stay. Big boys or not, mezcal remains the world's fastest growing spirit. And while industrialization may take inferior versions across the world, the hope is that it will bring those it speaks to back to Oaxaca.
El que verdadero conoce el mezcal viene a comprar acá. Y algunos no conocen, pues compran ese chiche.
We'll always see something that's trending, but it's not a fad. It's something that does have legs to it because there's authenticity behind it.
But the characteristics that have made mezcal so popular, its variety, its history and its nuance, are all threatened by its future.
How do we maintain that balance between not losing traditional means of production and tools of the trade on the one hand, but wanting to get more people in more diverse parts of the world to learn about mezcal, to appreciate mezcal? You've got to do it responsibly. And then pull it up and then taste it.
Pues aquí, yo digo que aquí con nosotros no se pierden, pues. Como mis hijos ya saben trabajar, por ejemplo, pues, ellos no van a querer cambiar ese proceso que tengo ahí de las ollas de barro, no lo van a querer cambiar por cobre, porque saben que es mejor calidad esto, pues. Entonces, no, aquí no saca cantidad, saca calidad.
For Oaxaca State, so steeped in tradition and custom, It's a brave new world, and its evolving industry must tread the fine line that Mexico itself has trodden for centuries, the tightrope between tradition and advancement.